So this is a little series for making Winx background characters or side characters in The Sims 3. This is the first video in the series, and I'm going to be doing the teachers in Alfea, starting with Faragonda, Griselda, and Barbatea. The first one that I'm making here right now is Faragonda, so I've got the little image to compare between how the sim looks and how she's meant to actually look in the cartoon. I'm just going to be giving her more general features first, and then I'm going to be slowly editing them to make it look more like what I can imagine a real human being with her features from the cartoon would look like in real life, or well, in The Sims 3, and at least in this case. So I've given her this hair. I think that hair is from Generations, but I'm not 100% sure. So the only packages I have in the game, I don't have all of them. It's Generations, Late Night, and I think at this stage I probably also have, which one is it? Ambitions. I think this is a Generations hairstyle, but I think it pretty much matches her correctly. Yeah, and I think I've tried to given her a bit of an oval face overall, because it seems like, you know, she has quite a small chin in the series, and her face is a bit like slim and long. So I made her an old woman in terms of the Sims age, because I think that's sort of what is called elder. I think that's the one that matches her most closely. Yeah, and I think her her chin seems a bit small in this one, so I think I'm trying to match it, but it's quite defined, at least in the cartoon and the image I've got there. And all cartoons basically have, you know, the really arched eyebrows really high up, but I think it adds character to their faces, so I'm just gonna go along with it even if they all kind of have this arched eyebrow. She's got the threaded eyebrow vibe, which I think makes sense for her vibe and aesthetic from the cartoon. Do I give her makeup? Yeah, I give her a slight lipstick because she's got this kind of pinkish matte lipstick going on. I think it's the only detail because she doesn't have any other eye makeup or anything else like that. The outfits, I had a lot of trouble with finding the outfits to match from anything on The Sims 3. So she has this very nice and classy two-piece suit thing in the cartoon, but obviously like there's nothing with those puffy shoulders or like with a gemstone in the middle and the high collar. So I've given her this outfit right now, which is giving kind of the queen at this stage, but this is the closest one I have, and it is, you can see it is from the Generations pack. I think the color matching, I didn't do it 100% correct actually, now that I'm looking at it again, but I think it will have to work for now. And I had to give her the small glasses that didn't really have, because Winx has this very distinct vibe and everything is so beautifully drawn. I think it's also done like with collaboration with actual fashion designers, so everything looks really unique, and it's very, very difficult to find anything that matches. So the closest thing that matched was like some thin glasses like these ones. Obviously it does not have nowhere near the same effect, especially given that they can't be lower down on her nose, which would have been ideal. So I'm just trying to match the eyebrow a bit better. And yeah, it's really, really difficult to find anything that matches. I'm scrolling through the entirety of the Sims 3 clothes and there is nothing there. I wanted to kind of do it without installing any custom content, just to maintain the aesthetic that the Sims 3 have, but I think I might have to redo some of these and give it a bit of give them more accurate clothes. Then the rest of the clothes, like the athletic, the swimwear, and everything else, we don't really see them change in anything else in the series, so I'm just kind of improvising with what I guess would sort of fit their aesthetic vaguely. Give her this like red detailing or like garnet color detailing because of the gemstone she has in the middle of her actual outfit, just to match that color. But it really is not as important, just so that I have a complete sim. rather than anything else. The traits, I think we have to make her as close to the series as possible, so but it's difficult to give her traits that are not very generic. Like, obviously she has to be brave. She puts together a company of light, and good as well. Obviously it's the company of light. I gave her nurturing because she is basically the headmistress, and she takes care of Bloom, and she looks after, well, debatable, the entire Winx. So, and friendly, she's just approachable by everyone. And genius just because she has the master plan somewhere in her head, I guess, even though she doesn't reveal Bloom the entire truth from the start. But, you know, I think that is a fairly good collection for headmistress traits. And then in terms of lifetime wishes, it's very difficult because nothing really matches like a school or fairies in this case. So the rest of them, the personality aspects, are just kind of what I guess she would enjoy. I don't know. Just to have a complete sim. So yeah, and science as well is kind of random. I'm not 100% sure what to base it off of. So I think that's it for Faragonda. It's an okay job for her, I think. Could take a bit of better colors. And then the next one I'm going to do is Griselda. Ignore the random guy at the start. Yeah, I'm just trying to match. She has this like quite pale ochre skin color, and then the hair, oh my goodness, Sims 3 does not have good hair at all. So it's a bit of a struggle to find anything that matches, because the hairstyle that she has is quite sharp, it's quite sleek, and like it's well put together. But the ones that they have here on the Sims, they look so messy. This is the correct, I think, length for what she has, and sort of like it's basic straight hairstyle, but it's nowhere near as sleek as what she has in the cartoon. So we'll have to work with this, I guess. But if I can find custom content that does not look way too outrageous or out of place in this, I might replace her hair at some point. Again, like the very threaded eyebrows, and she has a bit of a different face shape, so she has the like more square jaw and like more prominent chin. The eyebrows, again, they're like really exaggerated, so I'll try to match that, but without making her look evil, because she's not. She just needs to look austere. Yeah, and the nose, she does have quite an upturned nose. It's visible in the image as well, so trying to make it realistic, like how a real human being would look like. So yeah, so the aim is to just kind of have them look like real people, not necessarily as cartoons, because otherwise they would all look the same. That's not what people or the Sims, at least for me, should look like. Because it's an interpretation. It's not an exact match. Yeah, and the face shape was the one that I thought would be most important for her, most distinct for her, because she has like a very long shape, face shape, and there wasn't any exact way to make her chin wider without making kind of her entire face look too square. It's not really square. And the cheekbones I exaggerated because this is just how I imagine a real life Griselda would be. Yeah, and the jaw shape is it's a bit confusing. Just editing the rest of the nose. The eyes, I think they're pretty well done as they were. Didn't need too many changes. I just imagine her like slightly wider mouth and higher up, so that the chin can actually look more prominent as it does in the cartoon. couldn't remember if she had any beauty marks, but I don't think so. And then again, the issue with clothing on The Sims 3. There is nothing to give her to wear. So again, because she has this longish dress, but it has the... It's kind of like a suit at the same time. It has the shirt underneath. Couldn't match that exactly, so I decided to just give her the longest skirt I could find, which is not that long, but still kind of like a midi skirt length, and a blazer, just because that feels like if she was a real life person, she would wear a blazer. Nothing with as pointy shoulders as she used to have in the cartoon, or the little knot in the middle. That would have been very, very fun, having the little knotted cravat type of outfit. I think this color matching is a little bit better than Faragonda's. Could be a bit darker maybe, but could just be, you know, lighting adjustment. I think this looks fairly accurate to what she would wear if she were to be living in the Sims 3 universe. And then the glasses again, the Winx, they have this amazing like pointy shape in the actual series, but there is nothing pointy in The Sims. So this is what she's getting, which I think is the same as Faragonda's, just in a different color. The rest of the outfits, again, I just sped through them because they do not really matter for all intents and purposes right now. So her traits, I wanted to make sure that she was accurate to the cartoon, but was not fully evil. Like, she's not 100% a caricature of herself. She just likes children. She doesn't really, we know this, but she behaves really, really strict. So this is sort of what I would imagine the strict kind of stereotype, strict teacher stereotype would be like for a Sim. No sense of humor. Never knew, just because she just seems so proper and grumpy. She is a bit grumpy. Frugal, I'm just imagining she would be frugal. There is no exact indication of any form of currency in the Winx, so just a trait that matches the rest. And the colors, their favorite colors, I just match them with basically whatever they're wearing, because I don't know what else. The Winx seem to be wearing their favorite colors at all times, like the transformation outfit, so just kind of imagining that everyone's favorite color is somewhere on their outfit. And sign, again, I really do not know, but... And that's 2 of them done. The next one I'm doing is Barbatea, the librarian. She doesn't get that much screen time, but I thought it would be worth it to include her into this household of female teachers from the Winx. I made her an old woman, but I'm kind of questioning that choice right now, because I feel like she's younger than the other 2. It's just that the amount of screen time she had didn't give me enough indications about her. I'm trying to match her hair, which I think is the most distinctive thing about her. That and the glasses are they're really catching your eye in the picture, at least. So the hair is the same as Faragonda's, just because the Sims, again, do not have hairstyles. Obviously, I wouldn't ideally need something poofier, like bigger and less like old lady-like, more structured, kind of upwards. But I think that would have to be a custom content trip to find something more accurate. The eyebrows, as always, super exaggerated. And I think I will need to make her an adult, not an elder, because this is not the correct vibe for her. But again, assuming, let's just act with the assumption that she is an elder, but she's not, but whatever. Acting on the assumption that she is an elder, I'm just trying to give her slightly different facial features to the other 2, so that they each look like their own individual selves. Didn't give her an upturned nose. Most people in the Winx seem to have upturned nose, but I thought that we don't get that much screen time for her. Don't need to match that 100%. So I gave her a bit of a different nose shape. and eye shape, I think. She, does she have a beauty mark? I think she does. I think that matches correctly. And yeah, the mouth shape I made is slightly different as well. But the more I look at her, the more I think she looks older than she needs to be. So my plan is to kind of introduce a new Barbatea, design a new one, kind of add her to the household, and find a way to convince the other two in that household that the new one would be the real one rather than this one. But that would be like it would have to be a gameplay video for this instead, rather than a design. I'm just disappointed for not picking that up earlier, because this does not look correct. And again, the outfit. The closest thing that I could find to what she is wearing is like this kind of cardigan at the top and a shirt on the inside, but obviously that's not what she has. She has like this zipped up, like, is it a gilet? What's it called? Like a vest-ish, but it's much tighter on her than what I could find from the Sims menu. And I think I've made the tone a bit purpley on the entire outfit. I think her actual one is a bit more blue, paler blue and greener. I think I made it too purpley, too indigo. The glasses, okay, so at least they had round glasses, not as big as we needed, but we're gonna have to do the job. I'm not sure if we ever see her shoes in the series, but if she were to have shoes, I think she would like something like this. I'm not sure. So yeah, I think she will need a redesign, but this is what we have for now, and she will have to live with the other two, I guess. The rest of the outfits don't really matter, once again, speeding through them. And it changed, the game changed in her formal one what the outfit would be, which it doesn't usually do with these types of outfits. So I gave her a blazer instead for the formal version, trying to match top and bottom, which do not match the actual cartoon, but whatever. The traits, we don't get to see her, she doesn't have enough screen time for us to know exactly what her traits would be, but obviously she has to be a bookworm if she's working in a library. And I'm just giving her positive traits, well, good, because she helps them, right? Loner, because we don't really see her. I'm just imagining her stuck somewhere in a library doing her work, reading books, and being by herself. Neat. So I made her neat because I feel like the library, so I think that's kind of wrong, because if she were neat, the Winx wouldn't need to be cleaning the library at all times. But I feel like that's more like an arbitrary punishment for them during the series rather than an issue on Barbatea's part. But yeah. Then in terms of her lifetime wish, I didn't really know. I was between the culinary librarian and the professional author. I think I gave her professional author. And in this case, I gave her favorite color of her hair. The food, I'm just guessing for all of them. I'm really just guessing. I don't think it's a bad job. Maybe that's what she would look like if she were older, like in an older version of herself. But I do think she needs a redo. And that's all of them together, and they really look like they're matching with the actual cartoon versions of themselves. So I guess that was not too bad overall.